Welcome to another edition of the CrossDoc. After a brief hiatus, I was back at it again at the Anza Crossing Cyclocross race. This is an awesome venue, just 15 minutes from my house. Okay, first thing to note, if you want to do well in your cross racing, one of your goals has to be get a call-up. Front row starts really do help. I haven't really been racing that much, so here I am in the second row. It also helps to know who starts fast, so you can line up behind them. But sometimes you really don't have a choice. So we're off. My whole goal during this first section is to just stay clean through these corners to keep my speed. I didn't want to get held up behind anyone crashing or taking a bad line. So right off the line, I'm sitting right around 10th place. We're speeding through past the pit section, and we're going to head up onto a left-hand corner here. Maybe did too much braking here, but again, I figured it's the whole race, it's the first lap, I want to just stay clean and pass when I can. Try to take a straighter line through the barrier section, and I actually dismount and get over the barriers pretty good. As I try to remount, I bobble. I can't get back into my pedals, and I open up a couple gaps. I guess I got to do more practicing. So you're telling me it's important to dismount and remount? Anyway, just got to keep practicing. So this course had lots of fast parts, and because of the fast nature of the course, it's not like you could pass someone everywhere. I had to deliberately look for areas to pass and deliberately think about where I wanted to pass. In my mind, I wanted to be in front of people in a couple different sections. One of the sections that I wanted to be in front of people was the sandpit. The sandpit had one really good line and a bunch of other not so good lines. So I wanted to get in front of riders so I could choose the line that I wanted. You can see we're hitting straight for the sand pit here, and there's a well-worn, nice, fast line. But once I started getting off of that line, it got a little bit sketchy and I was losing speed. So I didn't want to use the sand pit as a passing zone, and I didn't want to get off that fast line. There's a lot of corners here where if you got the right line, you could really make it straight. Through this section, I'm just coasting. I'm not pedaling, and I'm just staying with the group, because I was trying to setting up and make it as straight as possible. So far, no big separation. We're still all in one big group of about 10 riders, and we're heading up to a feature that it's pretty much about power and just like putting down the watts. You have this right-hander to this really steep grassy climb. This thing has got to be at least like 30%. It's just like a grunt. I passed one rider and I'm pretty tired. The good thing is that we're coming up to a downhill section where I can recover and rest a little bit. So through this section, just try to stay easy. It's still the first lap. I don't want to burn a lot of matches, and I can coast and try to sustain the group. On a side note, there's a couple nice whoop sections here that, man, I just really need to learn how to practice jumping my cyclocross bike. This was like hashtag no fly zone for me, and when it comes to mountain bike, I can jump the mountain bike decently, but the cross bike, I don't know, there's something about that curved handlebar setup that I just need to keep practicing on it. So the other section I wanted to be in front of people was this really weird, tricky corner through this loose section with an off camber, and you can really see through here that if you don't get the line right, you're going to lose a lot of momentum. You're hearing a lot of braking, you're seeing a lot of people slowing down, and finally, there are some gaps starting to open up. I realized that this section, even though it was pretty small, if I was stuck behind somebody else, I was going to lose time. In the subsequent laps, I really tried to be in front of people right through that section. Alright, now we're back through the pits again. This area was a slight incline with a lot of bumps, and this was a place where you could really lay down the power. I'm not really trying to pass too many people on this first lap, but throughout the race, this was another place where you could really get your power down and really make the difference between recovering and really making up spots. As you can see, there's lots of off-camber in this course. This is a course where you really needed to trust your tires. Having the right tires really helped, but honestly, having the right pressure in those tires was probably even more important. Right, another little twisty downhill section here as we're approaching the stairs. They did a really smart thing with the stairs and placed the stairs on a climb. And during practice, my thought process was, should I remount right after I'm done with the stairs, or keep running and try to get to the top of this little hill and then remount? I tried to remount as fast as possible and then try to keep my speed up through the rest of the climb. So now I'm sitting in about, I think I'm sitting in about 7th or 8th here. And we're heading back to the start-finish line. There's a couple more corners, and again, a lot of bumps, but you basically had to follow the fast line, stay off your brakes, and just hit those corners really nicely. We're also getting to some of the back markers on the Masters 45 plus race. And again, it's one of those things where you just want to pass safely and in a zone where you feel like you can make up some time. So, first lap done. This was a really fun race. I ended up snagging a 3rd place. I really just tried to hit my lines and race smart. This race, more than some of the other races I've done before, I really raced conservatively the first couple laps. And I really felt like I had a lot more energy at the end of the race where it mattered. Oh, and living 15 minutes from the venue and sleeping in your own bed doesn't hurt either. Well, until next time, this is the CrossDoc, and I hope to see you out at the races.